Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life won't live in the past. All I wanna do now is making it last.
It's time for another conversation. My name is Noreen Daly and welcome to the Making It Last podcast, where it's all about helping you to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, but with other people. And this time around, I have Dr. Janet Walters. She's the Director of Counseling of the Counseling and Psychological Services Center at Northern Caribbean University, and she's also a licensed counseling psychologist. Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, our topic this time around is, when do I know it is time to let go in a relationship?
Wow, that's a heavy one, because sometimes we're in a relationship, and some persons will say, "Oh, this relationship is boring. There's no excitement. I need something. Let's spice it up." But in fact, there's some relationship that just needs to end.
Okay.
You ask the question sometimes, how do you feel about this relationship? Is it genuine or just feel like a transaction? I have to do something in exchange for something. Okay, so you'll babysit for me and I will pick up your kids for you. It's like a transaction.
Yes.
There's nothing genuine in it. It just gets boring and there's no life. Sometimes too, we hold on to, we can be holding back each other. And that's not very healthy. If you find that you're the only one striving in this relationship and the other person is not, then something is wrong. Both parties should be heading in the same direction, or at least we're supporting each other.
All right. 1 second though before we continue. Are we talking relationships in general, or are you speaking about a specific type of relationship?
We're talking about relationship in general.
Okay.
And this also can happen too in a marital relationship, an intimate relationship.
Okay.
Because relationships, there are similarities in these relationships.
Okay.
So as I said before, holding back, you're holding back each other.
Okay.
I'm not allowing you to reach your goal. I'm not supporting you. In every relationship, we all need the support of the next person.
Okay. The last one you said just now is that we need to support each other. What if it is that I believe that my friend or my partner is about to, engaged in something that I don't think would be healthy for them? Would this then apply to what you just said?
But let me just say it before. Let me just explain to you before I do
because
that.
there's a follow-up to that.
Okay. If my partner is going into something, what is a goal-oriented time, it doesn't matter what it is, there ought to be a discussion. And I think this is where most of the times as individuals, we forget to discuss.
Okay.
So whether it's your family member, whether it's your spouse, children, discuss this particular situation, this goal, what it is that you're going after. And so when the discussion comes about, then you'll be able to fine tune.
Okay.
Oh, I don't think this is a good idea, or it sounds like a wonderful idea, but let's tear it apart.
Okay.
What are some of the pros and cons?
Okay.
And at least the person is there you can bounce something off that person.
Okay.
Because if you're not getting that support, it becomes unhealthy. And so you feel as if you're all alone.
Okay.
Nobody's there cheering you on.
Okay.
But when you have that sort of support where you can have the discussion, you can look back at this particular goal or this task, and you say, let's revisit and see what we need to change, what we need to modify.
Okay. Because at the end of the day, then once the discussion is held, it will then help to clarify.
It helps to clarify
a lot of things. All right. So you basically said the whole idea of whether it's a transaction and the whole idea we must support each other. Anything else how we can then know that, hey, it is just time to just let this go?
When you're being manipulated, sometimes, all right, and I'm just going to take this one from a intimate relationship.
Okay.
All right. So if you're in a relationship like that and you find that your partner, you do everything that your partner asks you to do. You have no voice. You're not allowed to do anything. You're just there. Your partner keep manipulating you in terms of how long you're wherever you are. Where were you? What were you doing? This person start to control your life. And so when this type of behavior starts happening in the relationship, then you know something is wrong. Because in any relationship, and I know I go to be in general now. So whether it's in the family, you need to have that setting where persons in that family union can have a voice.
Yeah, are able to express themselves and see what's happening.
So so it can't be that the children are just cannot speak, they're dumb because they're not allowed to say anything.
Yeah, but there are some people though, Dr. was of the mindset that children still are of the mindset that children should be seen and not heard.
Yeah, I grew up hearing that one and I thought that was so. But do you know now that our children are able to express themselves now? What is the way that you deal with this expression?
Okay.
You're not saying that the child ought to be rude, but the child should be able to say, can I say something? And you teach that child how to express his or herself. And that way, that child will grow up to learn how to really express his or herself in other settings. How the tone at which to use, the words, how things are said, and watch the expression on the person's face. These are some of the things that we do. So if you're not cultivating that sort of autonomy, if not home, then we're gonna have a challenge. But when so let me go back to the relationship, the intimate relationship. So when a partner cannot express his or herself, then it becomes a one-way street. And this person become confined and into a box and feel blocked in. And so that person becomes very unhappy and is sad. And this person is as if this person doesn't have a future. And so persons have to be very mindful of the persons that they decide to get involved with. Yeah? Because it not only affects the intimate relationship, but what happens when the children comes along.
Yes.
He or she start manipulating the children.
Yes.
And allowing them to feel as if they have done something wrong or they shouldn't have said whatever they said. So sometimes it's hard to even target what manipulation is. Because it could be manipulating freedom of speech.
Yes.
It could be manipulating movements.
Yes.
Or it could be manipulating the person's self-worth.
Yes.
So if you say to me, you're just ugly, you're no good, and you keep saying that to me, you're manipulating. It's almost like you're manipulating my thinking and my thoughts.
Yes. Yes.
And so what you have done is to help to encourage me to think negatively about myself.
Yes. Yes.
And so every time I don't think, nobody would want me. So I can't leave this relationship because nobody would want this ugly person.
I'm not worthy.
I'm not worthy. Wow. So manipulation is just, it's so wide. Yeah. And so sometimes persons are not able to move out of this relationship because they're scared to move on. They have never been empowered to move on. Yeah. Another thing I find in relationship when it's time to let go is persons not friendly. They're not friendly with the person in the relationship.
Wow.
You get a cold shoulder. There's no communication. I come in, I might not even say good morning, good afternoon, the usual courtesies. I don't go anywhere with you. We don't share anything together. We don't go anywhere. You're not there in my life. And so what am I in this relationship? Am I just a piece of the furniture in the relationship? You know, so we need to be friendly. We need to be interactive with persons in the relationship, and children too. So here we go back. Here we go now to the family. So if you're not very friendly with your kids and your spouse, they're going to be they're not going to like you.
Yeah.
You know, when you're as old as I am, and you hear the stories, and you hear the talk about stories where the man would come in, and they said that the wife hide, the children gone under the bed, and the puss gone to seek hiding. When you're in a sort of relationship like that, nobody's happy.
Yeah.
So you need to be friendly. You need to be able to, your family members should want to be around you to have those happy moments. I don't know. I think sometimes we don't spend the time to get to know our family members, or we don't get to know the person who we are with. And so when you can't find that sort of happiness, maybe it's time to look elsewhere. Maybe you need to look within yourself to see what is happening. Is my self-esteem so low that I can't step out? Do I need to work on this in order to be empowered to move out?
Okay. There's a term that people use a lot, and for a lot of us who are on social media a lot, we'll see a lot of quotations that speak about people being toxic and just being toxic, and we must avoid toxic people. How then can you, I mean, with all of what you're saying, how then can we apply that to say, well, this relationship is now toxic, I need to cleanse myself, remove myself?
When you get toxic, you're so depressed. You're sad. There are other ailments that come about. Because once you're not happy, certain hormones, certain chemicals are released in your body.
Your body will show signs.
Yes. So your body's going to respond to it. So you need to be happy. You need happy thoughts. And in order to get happy thoughts, you need to be around persons who will help you to be happy.
Yes.
Yeah? You need someone who you can talk with. You need someone who you can share interests with. You don't have to be interested in everything that this person does, but this person should be able to say, yeah, let's do this.
This together.
Yeah? Or just have a quiet moment. Let's just the family members sit and just watch a movie.
Yes.
Can we do that? Is there anything wrong with that?
Yes.
You know, and so when it becomes toxic, persons start getting sick, whether they have some mental issues or whether it is that it physical. Maybe I'll be suffering from headache or something like that because they're not happy. And we have seen quite a few toxic relationships. May I say one thing too? When the relationship becomes abusive, no, that is a serious issue now. And sometimes we look and we say, why can't this person get out of the relationship? Why do you take the beating? Why do you take the cursing? Why do you do that? Sometimes it's easy for us to say when we're looking in and we're out there looking in. But when you're actually in the situation, it's not something that you can just get up and go. And relationship like those, you know, if it is possible, or whenever it is possible, to get help so you can get out of that situation. Because it might just very well be the end of your life if you stay in a relationship like that.
Even though the conversation, as we're wrapping up, the conversation is, well, when do I know it is time to let go in a relationship? What then would be your response to somebody who will say, how is it that I know that I'm not just being cold and I've detached myself from the situation when I can really just make that extra effort and reconnect?
One of the things is when you have to do all the work in a relationship, you know that it is time to go. When you can't count on the next person, it's time to let go. When you find yourself unhappy in the relationship, when you can't be yourself,
it is time.
It is time. And I think sometimes we need to reevaluate what it is that you really want. What is it you want in a relationship? And one of the things I find, if you can't be yourself, then you just can't be happy. You just have to be yourself. So when you find that these things are coming up, it's time to reevaluate your relationship and decide what it is that you want to do.
On that note, I have nothing else to add. Thank you, Dr. Walters, for sharing this conversation with me. You heard it. Reevaluate and decide what is it you want out of the relationship. This is Noreen Daly. This was Making It Last, where it's all about helping us to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, but with other people.
Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life, won't live in the past. All I wanna do now is making it last.